happy Monday to you.
Good morning. Good morning, David Smitty. How are you this morning?
So we, 8 years ago today, were on our flight to our Puerto Rico cruise. The only cruise we've ever taken.
It's a Caribbean cruise out of Puerto Rico.
It was a fantastic time. I have coffee-like substance today.
It's not even like coffee.
I am drinking, I believe it's Nescafe. It is decaffeinated. I am trying decaffeinated coffee, only because my heart rate it's been high.
Morning, Jolene.
And that reminds me, no, I took the pill this morning, so I'm fine. Phew. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this. I add just a touch of vanilla, and it's a nicer taste, Christie. It stinks. It smells like dog poop.
No, it smells like, you know when you go into a gas station and you get that cheap, crappy coffee because you're so tired you need something? That's what that smells like. It is so strong.
Good morning, Pat. It is not even close to as good as Christie's, but she's kind of a snob. She really is a snob. And any of you who think she isn't a snob, you're deluding yourself.
What kind of a snob am I?
Just a snob.
It's not nice.
Yeah. So had a great weekend. I don't remember much of it because I spent a lot of it sleeping. No, I didn't. But I did sleep a lot yesterday.
But we didn't do much this weekend.
So what do we do Friday?
Allison came over Friday.
I'm shocked you remember. And Saturday?
Saturday, you went mushroom hunting, and I stayed home waiting for someone to come and do some work for me who never showed up.
That bothers me because Friday night he came by. I think it was Friday night. He came by for some cash. Said, dude, be here tomorrow morning. She's got a full day of work for you. Yep, I will.
Oh, so then Allison must have come Thursday.
I don't know.
And then Friday we stayed home, and the kids came over for some pool time because I was in the pool with the kids.
So still a little upset that the pool is not complete.
Yeah.
Because we were told 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks was last week.
We were told that a lot. COVID told us that.
I'm shocked because when we put and gave him the money, we've given him all the money.
No.
Well, but very, very little. It's less than what they owe for the salt maker, for the cement work they have to do, for moving the jets that they installed incorrectly. But it should be very simple and be done. But he keeps sending us videos of all the pools he's installing. So I think I'm about to light him on fire.
Nope, we're not done yet. You're not going to light him on fire.
No. But I mean, what I mean is talk to him patiently.
You don't know how.
I don't.
Yeah, and then yesterday we went to church, went to Costco. Granddaughters were with us all day.
It was a lovely day.
It was. We spent a lot of time in the pool with them.
And Christy's like, yeah, they're going to do a sleepover on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm like, we just spent the full frickin' day with them.
Yep, that's okay.
1 day a week is more than enough when you own a business.
No, it's fine.
All right. So apparently those are going to be our little truck dogs. Should we do that? I think it's rude to use your grandkids to sell real estate.
No, it isn't.
You tell us. Is it
Especially
rude?
Such cute ones.
What?
Oh, yeah. So I was going through my cupboards the other day because I wanted to straighten it up because my housekeepers just keep shoving, just sticking it in there, not folding it neatly, not stacking it neatly. And I found these little cloths that I bought at the dollar store in Canada, but they say coffee.
The bottom one does. Oh, honey, you've got one that faces that way, one. So yes, there you go. Phew.
They say coffee time on them. Aren't they the cutest? I didn't realize that until just the other day when I was going through and I was refolding them, and I'm like, they say coffee time. And I bought this when we were just starting coffee time.
Get with that avocado too. This is what we've got hundreds of on our tree. Well, maybe
little rocks.
Little rocks. They're very heavy though. They're getting weight.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing because they need to be heavy when you start.
They will be lovely when they're done.
And once they're done, after
Marie, good morning. Sorry.
3 days after picking them, they are perfection. And even though we are just eating meat, I think one of these a day is a great vitamin
Especially these ones because they're so yummy.
They really
They
are.
really are a good avocado.
They're better than any avocado we've had.
And a good fat.
They're a good fat.
Happy Heritage Day. That's right. It's a long weekend in all provinces of Alberta or just some? I forget.
Heritage Day. Used to be Family Day, wasn't it? Or is it still Family Day?
Family Day was in February.
Yeah, but didn't they move it because they canceled one and moved the other?
I don't know. What's a family anymore?
Exactly.
Real.
What is a family? You're supposed to love your heritage. Wow. Yeah, in America, it used to be the great melting pot. Now it's like, well, you are something hyphen American. You are something hyphen American, but you're mostly just the something. Don't be an American. Nobody wants Americans. Very upset about this. The world is
What
changing.
are you not upset about lately?
I know.
Well, anyways.
My coffee-like substance is very tasty. I use a heaping tablespoon in one, and I think you're supposed to use a heaping teaspoon. But the heaping tablespoon gives it more of a because you don't have any caffeine to make it go. So you just want the flavor. But it's not really flavor either.
You could buy better coffee.
Without what?
Without caffeine.
Like what?
Like real coffee. They do sell real coffee without caffeine, not instant crap.
It has to be fake.
No.
This is the real powdered coffee that they've dried and given without caffeine.
It's 2 different holidays, John. What do you think of the no FMM? Family Day is still February, Heritage Day August. Not sure if all provinces celebrate at the same time. The
Yeah,
no FMM is as my understanding is it is a test, and it's not really no FMM. They're just not giving you a piece of paper. They're putting a stamp in your passport. So that means that the government and the border people will be able to tell these people that run across the border every 6 months to be able to.
Oh my gosh. He's here today.
Tell him to come back. No, tell me to start with the truck and wash the truck. There are things I'm going to get him to do today, and I'm going to make him work hard. Saturday he was supposed to be here. Anyways, so my understanding, this is just my understanding from reading it just really briefly, is it's a test to see how it works, but it is actually going to be, by the government standards and by immigration standards, it will be a better check on who is actually doing this and coming across the border. Because when you leave, the FMM is just a piece of paper. So when you leave Mexico, you turn it in and it's done. If you have a stamp on your passport, you can't change that. So these people that were going back and forth every 6 months, and no offense to all those people, but there are lots of us that have tried to abide by the rules, and the rules state that if you want to spend time in Mexico, get a visa. So anyways, that is what's happening. I personally think it's a good idea. Think of no more lost papers.
Oh yeah.
Because how many people lose those little papers? So no more lost papers, no more issues like that. And again, better border control, which every other country has it. Why shouldn't Mexico have it? My 2 cents on that. In my limited understanding of what is going on with it.
One thing that is interesting to me about Mexico is
Good morning, Helen.
All their fees and everything keep going up, but the service doesn't get better.
But the fees are going up, especially for immigration type fees, because the minimum wage is going up. And so there is that magical balance that they have.
Inflation. No. Some of this stuff, like they've multiplied property taxes. They've gone up by 700% for some people from the previous owner to the new owner, because now it's determined by value and not the city's value. So with all of this, you would expect better service, but you're not getting it. Mm-hmm. That is very frustrating because they're like, hey, you should just pay what you pay up there. It's like, no, but we've got service up there. It's horrible service, but at least it's service. Show us your papers, Larry.
Yeah, no, and you know what? That's true. And again, it's just one less thing to worry about. It'll be interesting how it works for those of us with our residence visas, how we go about, oh yeah, there's no water out front, John. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the hose isn't working. He'll need to.
So what time is it? Give us 15 minutes. Sorry, we're finished.
Okay. He could have tell him to start on just stuff in the front. I'll tell him. You talk for a bit.
All right. Well, I do love my coffee-like substance. It is funny how Christie's like she's all the time. So we have some appointments. Christie's back is out. When I went on Saturday up by Ixtapa, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Lots of rain, lots of cows. I would buy a cow from that place because these cows are fat. And normally the cows in Mexico are kind of skinny, but these cows were fat. And Christie's like, well, why don't you get a side of beef? I'm like, that's a good idea. I probably should. And I think we'll need a new freezer, though, because a side of beef is not going to fit in our freezer. So we need a new one, a bigger one.
Yeah.
And we keep the other one because we have three, full-size fridges.
Yeah, but this one here isn't working properly. Oh, that's the other thing I have to do is get Shirley to get someone to come and take a look at it and see if it's worth fixing.
Yep, I was talking to you about your back. Your back is, and she's got the thing going, her little hoe.
Well, actually, little hoe. You're my little hoe.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Now I have it working. For a minute there, it had just stopped. So
it was funny. The other night, she's laying in bed. And she's like, "Oh no, turn it down!" I'm like, what's going on?
I did it in the dark, like I was adjusting it in the dark, and all of a sudden it just was like someone was stabbing me in my back.
It was
I'm
me.
very delicate.
Good morning, Toby. Hello. So this thing, what do you think of this thing? This thing is at Costco. It's like $50.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It helped my knee. And every time the pain starts, I start using it. It's helping my back because doing Spanish this morning, it was killing me to stand. Right now, I'm feeling okay. So
if you want something that's not going to ruin your mind or your heart or your body, this actually is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you just think about it for a second, you're actually electrocuting yourself. So is that a good thing? I don't know.
It's just batteries, 2 little AAAs. It's not a lot of electricity in them.
Really? Can I try something here? It's not much at all.
Wendy's asking, where do you get the FMM stamp from? Immigration? Yeah. You know what? That I don't know. I really, like I said, I looked into it very briefly. I really don't know all the ins and outs of this.
This is the first I've heard of it.
If it's stamping your passport,
it's going to be when you come in.
So for just the regular visitors, it's going to tell you. For regular visitors, they'll do it right in customs, or I guess when you come in through customs. But with those of us, we may have to get the stamp. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work for people with residency status. I just don't know.
So last night after the girls left, we watched a few videos on cooking.
Yay, good. I guess this would be good evening for you.
Nice. We watched these cooking videos, and one, it said they have won the best burger in the USA 3 times.
Burger Awards, though.
The Burger Awards. And I'm kind of like, wow.
Where is this place?
It was amazing. It's a Korean place.
They make they grind the meat. Like they make the burgers from scratch. They make the buns from scratch. They make their own special sauces right there.
They make the
bacon. They grind it and smoke it. Brine it, smoke it, bake it, eat it.
And then you see all of the burgers they have. I said to Christie, "Hun, just find out where in the U.S. it is so we can go there. we've got our entire week taken care of because they've got all these different amazing burgers.
It's in Seoul, Korea.
It's in Seoul, Korea.
So that's better. I'd rather go to Korea.
Now, an interesting thing about Korea, we were offered a free trip to Korea. We just had to get to California. And it was right 15 years ago when we were opening the business.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
That was 15 years ago. Holy
we were
cow.
offered a free trip to Korea for the whole family. Never went.
Yeah. Was that the burger in Miami? No, it's in Seoul, Korea. My mom said I could use the magnets she has. They have helped me immensely. How am I going to get those, Mom? Get your butt down here and bring them. My back has been sore and my knee.
What was the name of the burger place? Because you have to watch this video. It's magical. It really is. They used Wagyu steak. Toby says, turtle coffee creamer, delicious. Kimchi is the Korean secret.
I don't even think turtle coffee creamer could help this instant crap that he's drinking.
Yeah. But the kimchi, they didn't have it in the burgers. The burgers were just pure beef.
Yeah, they were not Korean burgers at all. Like they had, well, they did have sides that were, and they put on these sauces. We don't know what. One was onion for sure. The other ones we don't know which the other sauces are that they put in the frying pan, and they serve it on a frying pan. Or was that two different meals, two different places? Yeah, it was never.
Larry says, better than Boosie Burgers? I doubt it. You know what?
I doubt it also.
3 times in the world, or 3 times in America, they won the #1 burger. So, I don't know.
In the American Burger Awards, not in America. The American Burger Awards.
Oh, I said Boosie Burgers. Oh, it is. Oh, there you go, because I didn't know if you were saying Bucky or Boosie, and I think you're meaning Boosie. And Boosie burgers are really good.
Yeah,
they're probably not as good as this one because we watched it being made.
They look really yummy.
And such handwork. Everything
was by hand.
The onion rings made by hand.
Yeah, even and the French fries were cut by hand. All of that
made by hand.
I know. Last night we're sitting there and it was like 10 o'clock. Like, I want a hamburger right now with cheese. Yeah. We'll have to do that today, maybe for lunch. No bun.
Nice. Well, we bought burgers yesterday.
Yep.
At Costco, they've got 2 type of decent style burgers. It's 18. One was 305 pesos and one was 440 or 430 pesos.
Are they both 18 burgers?
They're both, I think, the same number of burgers. So I bought them both because I want to find out which one's better.
We'll have to cook them up today and remember
that's a good idea.
Which.
That's a good idea.
Yes. So.
And
our friends actually just moved to Ho Chi Minh City. That's Vietnam, right?
Mm-hmm.
There, he's going to do some teaching. They were
going to originally move to Mexico.
What is that? Where were they before? In
that place in China where you gamble.
Like the real famous gambling place in China.
Yeah. They lived
like
there
a resort type area. They lived there for I think a couple of years or more.
Yeah, and it was beautiful.
And now two of their 3 kids are off to university, so it's only their youngest that's moving up there with them.
I find it funny how many people have done stuff because they said to us, we did this because you did this. Macau. Thank you, Larry.
Macau, that's right. Yeah.
And how many people have done stuff like gone to Mexico City because we went to Mexico City and videotaped it and showed that it's really not as scary.
No.
And in life, the only thing that's rotten about life is how short it is. Because bad stuff happens, guys. It happens to everybody.
So much to do.
I'm sorry.
Time to do
but you decide what you're going to do with it. Mm-hmm. Even we've seen broke people become very wealthy or wealthier because they just decide, you know what, I'm just going to do this. And that was just like us for moving to Mexico. People are like, whoa, you must have been so brave. No, I knew I was supposed to do it. I was brave marrying Christie, even though I knew I was supposed to do it. I feel that was way braver than moving to Mexico. Because I love you so much.
I'm not getting that, how it's brave to marry me, but you love me.
I love you now. I loved her so much as a child. I was a child.
Loved? Why loved again? Why loved?
I loved you so much as a child. Now I loved you so much as an adult.
Loving Jeff Kudriniski's trip to Mexico City. Yeah, they're having a good time.
They came with us, and then they decided to do it on their own, which is a great idea. It is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And that is what our hope is. We love to bring new people to new places because then to see it with their eyes. I think the only people that love Mexico more than us, maybe Glenn and Tanya, like their love for Mexico. And I mean, we love Mexico, but he decided to learn the language. But it helps if you've got a Mexican wife. So I hear.
You will never know. Yeah, he's digging a hole.
I will never know if that is an easier way to do this. They always said, get a Mexican girlfriend. And I'm like, well, I don't like to be stabbed or a knife pressed against my throat.
From me or the Mexican girlfriend?
Yes, exactly.
I wouldn't stab you. It's too messy. I would just smother you with a pillow.
You've said that many times. I don't sleep with pillows anymore for that very reason.
I have the best memory foam pillow.
Well, we can. Do you guys know where in Mexico we can find a good memory foam pillow? Or do we have to buy from Mr. Pillow and get it shipped across and pay the customs and duty, etc.?
They're just not heavy. Like this one is just this shy of a brick. I love it. It's not really that thick, but it is the best pillow I think I've ever slept on.
Bought a couple hundred Mylar bags this weekend because I want to start doing stuff and putting it in what's that room we have?
It's a pantry.
It's a pantry.
A non-air conditioned pantry.
Toby says, never have we been afraid to walk around Bucerias, even when we got lost in the dark and couldn't find the bridge back over the washout. Yeah, we've never been afraid in Bucerias either.
No.
There is one day in 19 years where there was a gunfight, and it was all the levels of the police against these four guys. Two had the room temperature challenge at the car crash.
Good morning, Doug. So I gotta read some of these messages because they're actually quite funny. Okay. Wendy wants to know, when did you learn to backpedal so well? Ree is morning all, 14 new ducklings and more hatching out yet. That's awesome.
I love that.
Hugh, good morning. He says that I might need to trade John in for a bottle of tequila.
She would. If it was a good bottle of tequila, it's not that cheap 50 peso crap, but if it was 100 peso, she's in it.
Reese says, ask hotels, and Jolene says Larry loves his Mr. Pillow.
Yeah, Larry says, I'm bringing my pillow in the fall. It's my pillow. It's not Mr. Pillow.
Oh, my pillow. All our friends were afraid just to go off resort. I know, and we hear that a lot.
But the resorts do that too, though.
The resorts make you scared. I had cousins that were staying here quite a few years ago, and they were staying at the Decameron. And they went to go meet us off resort. And the resort's like, oh no, you really shouldn't. You guys really should not step off the resort. And she's like, well, my cousin lives here, and I'm going to go see her and her family. They, because our kids are all still here. Oh no, you really don't want.
Why would a resort that makes more money if you stay on try and scare the crap out of you? And it seems counterproductive because as soon as you get people scared, they're like, oh, I don't know if we need to go back to that place. Let's go somewhere else. Yeah, it's a great place, guys. I mean, if you're not into drugs and prostitution, if you're in drugs and prostitution, you're going to be in crap anywhere in the world. And I'm sure most of the people here aren't much into drugs and prostitution.
Probably not. Did I say good morning to Doug? Good morning, Doug. Jeff, good morning.
Hello, Doug.
He just signed in. Have you ever tried an ND pillow or heard of them? I've never heard of them. And I don't know what brand My Pillow is. I actually just...
My Pillow is the My Pillow brand. He's a guy...
No, ND.
Oh, ND. Oh, what? Your pillow. I see what you did there.
I've never heard of ND pillows.
Okay.
And then our friends ask us often about driving from Mexico or driving to Mexico from Texas. Yeah, I mean, and we've driven a lot in and around the country. Spanish helps. Spanish helps a lot. I don't know. Now I think I would probably feel more confident doing a trip without a better Spanish speaker, because I think my Spanish is at the point where I can get my point across, or at least know how to figure it out, where like 10 years ago when we did a lot of our big road trips, or 6 years ago, however long it was, I wasn't confident enough to drive in Mexico and deal with what you have to deal with when you're driving. I mean, we had car troubles at one point. You get lost and you don't know where to go. You can't find your hotel. Like, it's those kinds of things where with having someone, because we always had our kids with us. I don't think we've done a major trip without our kids unless we were flying. Driving, we've never done it without kids, at least one. And I don't know, I'm not sure even now if I'd want to drive too much. I love what Jeff and Claudia decided to do and use Mexico City as kind of their center and just do day trips or, a couple of days here and there from that.
Buses are so cheap in Mexico.
And even
flights are too.
Flights too. You can fly from Mexico City. You can fly pretty much anywhere. I think if we had a month or so that we could do something with, I think I'd want to do that. This year we've got too much going on. I think our big trip is going to be probably Guanajuato and maybe into Querétaro a little bit just to see what's up there. But
Stefan went to Costa Rica from Mexico and he only spent 3,000 pesos return.
Yeah, I know.
To Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Now it's expensive to be in Costa Rica, but to fly there, that's pretty dang affordable.
My mom said that they drove all the way from Edmonton to Mexico a few times, never had any trouble, didn't know any Spanish. Yeah, but Mom, at least one of those trips you had one of our kids. The first one, I think you had Zach, right?
Yeah, I think he was 15 when it happened.
Did you have, Kenzie was 15, he would have been 17.
Maybe.
And I think after that you guys did it on your own. But I'm not talking about just driving. Like, we've driven to Arizona by ourselves, just the two of us. That is a different thing. I mean, to go into Mexico and just travel in Mexico and go from place to place. That's, I think, to me anyways, I don't know.
They'll be saying that Superstore in Canada had the best pillow it uses now. And what's that store? They're Mega or Placano. I don't know Placano.
Palacio, maybe he means?
Oh, maybe.
Maga or Palacio.
But Mega is MEGA, but it's not really a Mega store anymore.
They call it Mega Soriana. Yeah.
Soriana. I don't know Placano, but I'm wondering maybe you mean Palacio, which is a higher end department store, mostly in Mexico City, I believe.
There's a Palacio in Guadalajara.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It's a beautiful store.
Jolene said they're about to do it a third time, twice with Charlie Girl, the sweet beagle. Yeah, I was just about to call her a bagel.
Morning, Randy.
I see what you guys are saying. What I'm talking about is doing just travel within Mexico.
Traveling in Mexico to places, to destinations.
In Mexico, yeah.
So you're leaving Vallarta and going to Morelia, or
because when you're doing these trips where you're going cross country, which is awesome when you don't have Spanish, to me, you've got a destination and you're just going from one traveling anyways. Doesn't matter.
Well, in the 19 years we've been here, we've had many Americans that have come back to Mexico because they realize that just chasing the American dream may not be the best thing for them.
And many Mexicans came back.
Yeah, many Mexicans, and they speak English. So there's a lot more English in different areas.
Yeah.
When we came through the Sonoran Desert, though, man, there was no English. That was 19 years, almost 19 years ago.
Our first trip down with the kids, yeah, that was actually...
Okay, real quick on poverty, because there are people that say, oh, the poor Mexicans.
Good morning, Randy. I don't know if I said that.
Randy. Okay. But on our way to Mexico through the U.S., that is where we saw lots of poverty on the reserves. Holy cow. In Mexico, it just seemed like luxury compared to some of that. So that was a shock, I think. Because at the time, we'd never been.
We are not well-traveled people.
No.
We haven't done a lot of traveling we've never been off this continent, if you can include Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We've never been to Europe. We've never been to Asia or any of those places.
We'll go to Italy in the next year. I think the next year is a good time frame.
Yeah. I'm game.
Yeah.
I'll be 55 next year.
All right. That's terrifying. I have a wife who's
55 years old.
Almost 55. Do you know that for me, when I was 12 years old, that was 40 years ago. So I was thinking about this. I had Mr. McKenzie. He was the school principal. He gave me crap when I was in grade 6. So if he would have been 62, 63, I would make him 103 now. I don't think he's lived this long. So all these people that you knew as childhood friends, whatever, or maybe not friends, but childhood adults in your life, they're old. Or if they're dead, if they're not dead.
I don't know if you call them childhood adults.
I don't
Adults in
know.
your childhood, maybe.
I don't know. All right, we do have to get going here. We have to get Jesse set up with a hose. So you guys take care. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow, and away we go.
Jolene is just this way. Jolene is saying she agrees with you. Some areas on our road are amazing how they live. And Spain, John and Christy, let's plan it. Malaga area, we can get a condo. I have to say that if I was going to do a big trip like that, Italy would be my first choice.
And I think we want to do 1 to 2 months. All right, guys. Adios.